Cadre. Normally I say good morning, but it's actually good evening. I thought I recorded a video this morning. We used the new Holy Caw scent. Talked quite a bit about that. Very briefly, it's a very mild scent, about a 2 out of 5. The performance is off the charts. However you rank it, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10 of cushion, protection, post-shave residual, it's tops for all those. It's supposed to be a citrus scent, maybe. I'm curious to see what other people think about that. Maybe I can get some lime out of it, but otherwise I keep coming back to jasmine, and not that I know exactly what jasmine smells like, but that's the other note I'm getting on this. It's not bad, but also very subtle, so that's why once I talked about soap makers that make their scents very subtle, I think tend to be more successful than those that kind of just go all out and have the very polarizing scents, because this, if it was very strong, I probably wouldn't like it, but it's mild enough that I'll keep it and use it. Anyway, off the topic. But since I used Holy Caw this morning, I thought I'm going to continue that. We'll do the Fern Concerto. So I'm going to get this going, and then I'll talk about kind of why I'm back in the bathroom this evening. And I'll show you this one. Well, I guess I can't show you. This one's actually a somewhat harder soap. But even these I can scrape off enough, and that's too much, but we all have too much soap. To be able to lather it in a bowl. So like I said, it's very unusual that I'll bloom and load a soap directly from the container. And then let's see, I think for the brush we'll go back to the Sorrentino TSC brush. Always a pleasure to use this one. And we'll get this started up. So yeah, pretty rare to have 2 shaves on the same day, except for when we're going on vacation. So we'll be hitting the road. The plan is by 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. We tend to usually start pretty close to when we plan, but as all of you probably know, it's one thing to get yourself out the door at 6 a.m. and it's another thing to get the car loaded up and kids out the door at 6 a.m. So I've done this before, that when we're going to leave early in the morning, just to give myself some leeway with less things that need to happen in the morning, I'll shave the night before, almost like a clean up extra shave, and then most likely skip tomorrow. But it's funny, I'm a planner and a warrior, and avoiding, you know, things going bad by planning ahead, all that stuff. So I'll do something like this, and then I'll wake up at 4:30 in the morning because the day's going to be different, and we have to be up early, and I would have plenty of time to shave anyway. So we'll just see how that goes. But as a lot of you know, last couple weeks been going through a lot of stuff, and today everything's back to normal. Feel great, so it's almost like no spa time with the aromatic fern aromatherapy shaving soap. But I've also done this once or twice before for that same reason too. Just I don't know, had a rough week or a rough day, and tend to only happen when I have the house to myself, and just take another refreshing shower, get to go through the whole shaving experience again. And I think most of us have talked about that at one time or another, how it's pretty cool how it's turned into something a lot of us dreaded, the shaving, was a chore or whatever. And now it's turned into something, at least for me, and I think for a lot of guys out there, that this is now a hobby instead of just a task, that it's actually enjoyable versus a burden. And I'm gonna just a touch more water and see if we can thicken this up a little bit. Make sure the slickness is hitting the top of the chart for this stuff. Holy cow. Holy cow is awesome. And the slickness realm. There we go. Look at that shine on that baby, huh? So even the days where the shave is a little bit rough, maybe end up with a weep or whatever, the process itself is still enjoyable, relaxing, little moment. Parker 76R, in theory this should be done. It's got a feather blade in it, been used 3 times. For me, it's 3 and out with the blades. I know everybody is different. Trust me, it's funny how some things, people say your mileage may vary, and everybody understands people's different viewpoints on soap smells, scents, things like that. But some people are pretty adamant about this one, that you ought to be able to get more than 3 shaves out of this thing. And I've tried. I've taken it past that. This will be my 4th shave, just because, I don't know, is it half the shave if you have half the growth? I don't think it works that way, but I'm not going to swap it out for 1 shave and then we're leaving. Lost my train of thought. Oh, but these, some people do really have the attitude of, it should be lasting longer. And I think it's interesting that I don't think people realize that there's 2 differences in people's beard growth. There's the density of the hair, and then there's the hair itself. So I really can't judge for anybody else. Those of you guys that are getting 20, 30 shaves out of a blade, I'm just assuming that you're putting up with subpar shaves. Maybe you're not. Maybe they all feel like that second one after you get the first new blade shave off of it. But I can tell you that's not true for me. I can take a DE blade, I'm sure, at times, or maybe most of the time a little bit farther than 3. But what I did when I was starting out is do a couple shaves until it felt different. Now I can't tell you if that number was 4 shaves or 5 shaves or what have you. But I told myself, these things are so cheap, and shaving used to be such a short chore and a bad experience, that if getting rid of them after 3 shaves will guarantee that every shave I get, at least the blade is nice and sharp, and I don't have to worry about that, having that feeling of, oh, it's time to get rid of this one. That's fine with me. Teach their own. I mean, we're buying brushes that are way past 20 bucks. Some of us into the 3 figures. Soaps that are $20, $30 a puck. So, I've always find it interesting that a 10-cent blade or even a 30, 35-cent blade, it's a matter of are you not getting the use out of it? It's the cheapest thing that we use. So anyway, I picked the holy cod just because I had a great shave this morning with the other one. And I'm not a night shaver, and I thought about getting into bed later with what kind of scent, and just thought that a nice calming fern would actually be relaxing at that point too. So what are we doing? I got one pass to tell you. So my parents live in just outside of Portland, close enough to call it Portland. And I grew up in Oregon, middle school, high school, college, started my career, all that. And they've been up there ever since, so we got up there, I'd say at least twice a year, usually if not more. Miss it, beautiful. It's amazing, you drive up there, you hit that California-Oregon border, and I swear, there's a line there, and it turns from brown to green in 1/10 of a mile, and it just stays green the rest of the time you're up there. Different conversation though, we can talk. We've actually been getting more rain, and the lakes are filled up more than they were the last couple of years. But anyway, so we're driving up there to Portland. I'd say it's about a 10-hour drive. When we're really hammering it, it's 10 hours. 10 hours is 1 to 2 stops. And I'm trying to remember, I think we might have done it in under 10, maybe 9.5 once. It's just the wife and I. We stopped one time for gas, and the rest of the time was just barreling through. But so whole family's driving up to Portland tomorrow. We're gonna stay in Portland Saturday, let the kids play with their cousin. And then in the afternoon on Sunday, my parents and our family are going to be driving up to Seattle. Girls have never been to Seattle. My wife loves Seattle. My mom loves Seattle. So we're going to, we got a rental house up there, stay a good 4 nights up there. It's funny, just after I told you I'm a planner, this is very rare, but it's one of the very few vacations I've taken that isn't planned to the nth degree. So I know that we'll do Pike's Place Market. I know we'll do the Chihuly Museum. Don't know what day. And I don't know anything else. And after everything's been going on, I'm actually okay with that. I'm all right with not having to get up get everybody else up at a particular time. All that. So we're staying up there for 4 days. Come back down. We'll stay 2 more nights in Portland with my parents, and then we're going to take 2 days to drive back. My wife has mentioned before that she'd be interested to see Crater Lake. I've been there once, and it was back in high school, I believe. So we're going to do that. We'll drive down. We'll take the tour around Crater Lake, see the store, that kind of stuff, and then we'll stay overnight, get back on I-5 and stay overnight about an hour away from there, just on the Oregon side of the border. My wife's got an old friend from her childhood that we'll have dinner with, and then head back home on Sunday. So it can be long splitting the drive up into 2 days, but not quite the grind. All right. So that wasn't bad. When I do this kind of cleanup, second shave of the day, you have to be a little bit careful on that third pass on the neck. Didn't talk about it, but wasn't too aggressive with that. I can feel I got some hair still here, some there, some here. So, whatever. It might dry down to a BBS. I doubt it. I think I'll end up with DFS Plus. That's fine. Just to get in here, actually get a video accomplished today, get cleaned up for tomorrow, and have a relaxing evening. So, been good watching your videos, following up on the forums, and I'll see you online. Thank you.